Holy crap, we've got some water or some swamp terrain or whatever this is. Hyper random giving us something different. Never seen this one before. You'd love to see it. We've got 8 players, 8 kings. There will be 1 victor. Unless they do allied victory, in which case I'll be very mad at them. We've got a variety of different elos here as well. The kings do explode, so please keep that in mind. We're using our traditional settings for community games, or at least traditional over the last year or two, just to spice things up. Looks like the players start with a Norse warrior. That dude looks very stiff. He is not very mobile. I'm pretty sure I've seen champions or militia move with more, flexibility. Look how stiff he is waddling back and forth. That must be pretty heavy stuff there. Or he's got a wedgie. That's funny, chat. Okay, let's introduce our players here. In the green, a player who will be a big focus, I believe. We've got Arico, 1,800 elo. I said he was 1,600 before the stream. I'm very wrong. So easily the highest elo player in this game, and has been around a long time and has played lots of community games. In the blue, we have Dr. Chivo. This player's always making rumors in my chat. It's quite funny. I wonder if we'll see rumors in the game. I don't know. Huntaro is chatting to us right now, so sidebar. Well, Blue's talking about the rumors. And Gray says, hello, T90 in chat. When I last played, I had said that I am still afeared. I want to set the record straight. I said that because we had to remake the game, and I meant to type afeared. And let me be clear. Okay, Huntaro, you're really ruining the intro here. Huntaro says, the fear is still with me. Okay, so Huntaro is just clarified, just letting all of chat know that they're still fearful. Good to know, Huntaro. Okay, so who did we talk about? We talked about Blue, the rumor guy. In the teal, we've got Captain De Botifara. Probably butchered that one, playing as the Koreans. Not a bad save to start with, when you've got that tower there. In the yellow, we have Ramaranak. Been around a while, playing as the Celts. In the red, we have Elisar, also has been around a while, playing as the Poles. In the gray, we have the fearful one, Huntaro. Apparently very fearful of Mills as well, but... sorry, did I say that out loud? Playing as the Magyars. And then we've got JJ23. Is this the JJ? Do you guys remember there was a JJ a couple years ago who was in a community game? Maybe I'm confusing it with another user. JJ, this definitely is a player who's played before. I just don't remember specifically what the storyline was. Apparently this is Anki. Okay, so this is someone from Twitch chat. Okay, got it. And then, guys, Sally. Sally is like one of the best community game players we've ever had. It's gotten to the point where, like, some people are very upset when Sally wins. So, tell me what side you're on. Would you like Sally to live or die? Be nice about it. But, when a player wins all the time, people are just like, we don't want that anymore. The thing is about Sally, Sally talks to people super early, very actively, sets up alliances, okay? And Sally is actually quite a nice ally. Now, does Sally win in the end a lot? Yes, but Sally isn't betraying people in the traditional way, like the Sir Explosive Hopper way or the Snippy way. Anyways, the highest 2 ranked players are right next to each other. And so Sally, as I was doing the intros, said, hey, Arico, want to be friends? Green says, I guess we have to, XD. The others won't let an occasion to kill one of us. And Sally's kind of afraid. My Civ is not the best either. And yeah, so basically, Sally setting the stage. Malay Berbers for these two. Maybe they will be against everyone. But my guess is Sally is going to try and form some other allies. And JJ and Sally chatting up as well. So yeah, we've got some experienced players here. Everyone has allied each other at the start. No one has made that mistake. And apparently there's going to be a Western alliance with gray and red and purple. So that's not too bad. Nice to see the chatter from those. And Teal is being told to garrison the king. That's what yellow says. Over to Teal, and we've got some time to chill here, guys. T90, maybe see how many resources are here. Yeah, we should toggle that up. Wood seems pretty low. Normally when water generates, wood is pretty low. There's a total of 150k gold and then 50k stone. It's pretty balanced in that regard, in my opinion. Oh, that's not a king, by the way. That's just a Norse warrior, so that could be a little bit confusing. I think Blue has made the first chat mistake of the game. Blue says, that sounds interesting, and says that to everyone. And Eriko, trusting this person, says, I'd like to trade in your corner. I can't trust the other 1,700 for long term. So basically saying, I can't trust Sally. But guys, there's a lot of chat here. Very hard for me to follow. Props to them for giving it a shot, but obviously probably going to miss things if things are this chatty in the early stages. 60 asking about Warlords qualification. There's going to be Warlords qualifications like every single day. I'm not missing Kami games. Plus, there's 3 qualifiers. Plus, it's early rounds. So, we're doing Kami games. Hope to have a hype stream here today. I'll focus on the main event of that event once it gets there. It's so funny. There will be games where there's like no Diplo chat except for one player. But then there's games where everybody chats at once. And it's actually very, very difficult and overwhelming for me to follow everything. But Sally says, hi, Gray. I have a bad feeling they're scheming against me. Can I have your friendship? And Huntara says, it is quite possible. Thanks to T90 putting them against you, I will be your help. Okay, that's not what I said. Now, I did imply, you know, I do always put feelers out there. I'm like, hey, guys, reminder. Sally's won a lot of games, you know. So I do try and influence it a little bit, I guess. So, I'm sorry, Sally. But, I mean, it's not Sally's first rodeo, okay? Varian in chat wants Sally to die. So, eventually we'll get a feel for the plans these players have. The water's kind of fascinating. Can anyone tell if you can build on this type of terrain? I'm going to guess no. Obviously, you could dock the shoreline, but this is a terrain that land units can walk on. Which sometimes you can build on. I think you can actually build on this sand, but you can't build on the other terrain here. Which makes trade really bad, actually. Ooh, you could water trade. Oh, shoot. Water trade's actually insane. Well, I don't know about insane, because you can't dock the corner. Also, hello, boars. That's a lot of meat. But that's also inconvenient meat. So we probably won't see players ever take that. Castle Age is already in for the top 2 players. Expected. And Eriko and Sally dropping the TCs. Yeah, 1,700 and 1,800 ELO players here. Eriko casually, not mentioning their actual ELO, just said the other 1,700. But I bet you Eriko will always say they're 1,800 in another situation. Just downplaying their skills, right? Green says, what's up? I'd like to be part of the Northeast team with you, yellow, blue, so we can control the trade routes. So that can sometimes be the downside of the higher ELO players is they don't chat much. T90, they're not boars, they're javelinas. Okay, well, you're okay, well, not my best comeback. Yes, okay, sorry. I'm so sorry that I didn't call them the right thing. I'll do better next time. LSR says, so we 3v1 either yellow or orange when we ready. Okay, that's a game plan right there. Either yellow or orange. Interesting that they would choose yellow. They could also team with yellow. Feels like they could maybe grab a 4th. Holy Diplo, guys. So green, team up. I've heard some bad rumors about you, but I don't believe them. Green says rumors. Now, green's from the stream, so green should know that blue is the rumor guy. This person will drop a new rumor in my chat every day. I think the most recent rumor was that... Well, I don't really remember. They're always very well thought out. I think one of them was that I had a goth girlfriend, but I wasn't a fan of the fact that she didn't research Loom because it was instant or something. I forget. I forget. Yes. I forget. It's always ridiculous. Eriko says, I usually treat my neighbors well. Yes. To be fair, I have a grudge against Sally because he beat me in TTLC. Oh, wait a second. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So in the Community Cup, these guys went to the playoffs? Or were they in the same group? Oh, I didn't know they were in the same... I knew there were similar elos and they played in the Community Cup, but I didn't know there was some backstory there. Oh, shoot. Damn. So Sally got the win there. Sally's one of the only players fishing right now. So it's pretty clear that these two are not probably going to work together for a long time. If someone could look up that info, by the way, I'm actually very curious on how that played out. Guys, I think Navy's going to be a really big play here. I know Sally isn't in love with the Malay. Might just be downplaying the Civ. But you can utilize Navy through the middle of the map as well as the outside. So Navy kind of controls everything here. You honestly could just only play Navy and really do a lot of damage to people here. Blue says to Green, let's invite Orange to the team, but Green just said that there's a grudge. But I don't know if Blue has really picked up on those details. Obviously, when you're lower elo, you're under a lot of pressure to try and get the boom up compared to all these other players who are already ahead of you, and then there's the chat as well, so... Ariko just says, to that. Now, LSR with a really good call here. LSR says, hopefully, Green and Orange will duke it out amongst themselves since they're the strongest. And Ariko says, sure, I'll team with Orange, but long-term he might betray me. Yeah, I think the smart play for both Orange and Green is that they should work together for some time, and then once they eliminate other players from the game, then they have to turn on each other. You don't want to be the two strongest players fighting right away. I think that would be better for everyone else. Chat, 1 second. I'm actually going to be silent for like 15 seconds. Don't freak out. But I'm just going to adjust my desk here real quick, so I'm a bit more comfortable. One minute. Sorry, my desk is kind of annoying. Okay, so chat gets more active when I don't speak. Good to know. Good to know. Okay, we should be good. 91 eco right now for Sally. Did I miss some chat there? I might have missed some chat. Well, this is kind of important, chat. Yellow's like, I have no idea what's going on the east side of the map. Are you guys part of a team? Again, very surprised that Yellow doesn't seem to be involved in any particular team. I think did speak to Teal a little bit earlier. I'm not muted, chat. I didn't mute my mic, so there's no way I could have made that mistake, but nice try. Okay. So, I haven't seen anything get built here, so I think that confirms that that's not possible. We've got units out there, so you can walk over there with things, but it doesn't seem like you could build. Otherwise, there might be markets there. Remember with the King Boom mod, you can garrison... I forgot to remind the players, guys, but you can garrison kings inside siege towers and rams, which I think more people need to do. That's like anything. People will just get used to certain strategies. And speaking of strategies, the strategy that started this past year is if you have a tower, you could build your castle right in front of it, and it blocks the tower so people can't see where the king is. Blue says, guys, I heard T90s never really recovered from that accident. Toe. That's such a... You can tell Blue doesn't want to go all out with the rumor. Like, normally it's very well spoken. But Blue's like, I only have so much space in this line, and I'm really far behind bottom score, so I'm just going to say toe. And now Ariko's talking about another incident. Yes, I lost my toenail, okay? That's what we call a good story. And a lot of pain, but... Now they're all making different jokes about me. What? This is the problem with regulars. This is why we shouldn't allow people to ever play in community games when they played before. We should just eliminate them. What do you think about that, chat? I think there's a bunch of people who would be on board for that. Love the fish traps. I love Sally's focus right now. Again, you can trade on water. Also, having heavy navy just simply makes sense here. And honestly, navy on this map can be pretty snowbally. We might not really need that much diplomacy. This could be one where you can just bully your way to victory. I really like the eco setup there for Sally. We do have the run and the spin emote, yeah. It's all good. I know everyone's just joking. What's up, Stashville? Welcome. Monster says I would never crack jokes at T90's defense. Yeah, dude, I could look at your chat history right now and prove you wrong. So don't even. How many relics are these players working with? Blue's about to get relic 3. Green doesn't have any. Sally's got 3. There's 3 for purple. About to be 4. So there's a lot of relics on this map. You got 1 for gray. You got none for red. Yellow doesn't have any. Teal also does not have any. So I don't know. I can't do math, but more than your average game when it comes to relics. I think Ram is more on the western team. Or sorry, the eastern team than the western team. Wait, never. Okay. Sorry. I just completely forgot north, east, south, and west. But yeah, I just... Earlier, it felt like red was very interested in getting rid of yellow. So, I don't know. Maybe they played in the Community Cup. Maybe they were similar elo. I know that, I think Ram played in the Community Cup. We had over 300 signups, so it's very likely many of the players here played. New castles? Yeah, the new castles look really cool, man. It'd be very difficult for me right now to tell you which civ they belong to. But that was a really fun update. Just adds so much extra spice and flavor to the game. But yeah, no one's really diploing right now. They got the diploing out of the way. They're focused on their booms. Which of the new castles is your favorite? Or which of the castles here is your favorite, chat? This one's really cool. This one's really cool, actually. The more you look at it, the better it looks. No castles over here to look at for the Korean player. There's the Burmese castle. I personally, I always envision a little dude walking on these stairwells, and I want to know if it's realistic. I don't know if anyone else does that, but that's kind of how I view these castles. And for the most part, it seems like it's realistic stairwells, but there are some that just don't seem to really click for me. This is a nice castle as well here for the Berbers. Like that. I guess there's some inner stairwell in there so you can get to the very top of this one. And maybe that's just for sunlight or something. Who knows? Rassiak says, I'm surprised T90 doesn't just say colors when giving directions at this point. I tend to mix everything. I'll mix names, I'll mix I'll mix directions and mix colors. I can never stay on one thing, it seems. So. Alright, Imp is arriving for most players now. And there's the stockpiles. Blue has 6k gold. So the rumor is blue is rich. That's not bad at all. Everyone's got gold workers. We do have trade flowing. Get the trade while you can. I see trade cogs from gray and from orange. Now, castles on shorelines becomes very important if navy and trade on water becomes strong, which I think it will do. And green's thinking about that. Like, these castles are with that in mind. Control the trade routes on both sides. Nice to see some trade cogging, you know? Yeah, I've been to a couple castles. That's crazy, man. I mean, that's just... It's still so crazy to me. When you just sit here and think back of some of the things that Age of Empires has allowed me to do, that is wild, man. Obviously, you guys played a big role in the community coming back, and you know, these companies wanting to do cool stuff for us, but still, LAN events and castles is ridiculous. And Gray says, have you heard any rumblings yet? Now, this is an interesting team because there's no one that's like elite level compared to the others. So you have 1,000 elo, you have 1,100 elo, and then I guess purple as well. JJ is 900 elo. So it's a team that needs each other, I'd say. The amount of wood left on the map, 450k. So we've been through about 20% of the wood now. Okay, so again, you can build on the sandy terrain. It's also like aquatic sand. If that makes any sense. I'm sure you know what I mean. It's pretty cool that I was able to propose to my fiance in a castle. Thank God I didn't. Thank God I was able to catch the flight and I didn't screw that one up because I left the ring at home. I'm sure you guys have heard that story, and I almost missed the flight. And then Red Bull would have missed me for casting, would have been a whole disaster. But anyways, it's a pretty cool, tidbit to share. People will ask and be like, oh, did you do anything special? Did you go to the beach or what? Like, actually, I did it in a castle in Germany. It worked out as well because Red Bull had photographers there for the event, and they were really nice. I was like, hey, I'll pay you. Like, could you just take the photos since you're here? They're like, Red Bull's paying us. Yeah, sure. It was sick. Super nice guys. Sally's not a fan of how quiet this is. And, yeah, it's been very quiet amongst the top players. And JJ just trying to get a feel who else the others are allied with. But JJ has not really spoken to Sally much. That would be the player that I would want to speak to, personally. Sally's top score, you would want to ensure that you are going to be safe here. Grace says Orange is the only other person who has talked to me, which is true. I think Huntaro and Sally will be an interesting storyline here. And notice Ariko's talking to the other side, guys. They're not talking to each other, Sally and Ariko. They're talking to the players on the other side. And Sally's wondering, should I even attack now? Like, Sally usually doesn't attack fast, but maybe you just got to rip the Band-Aid off to make that happen. The fortifications are pretty insane here. We've got lots of keeps, lots of castles. I don't know if Sally's being serious when Sally says things like this. It feels genuine, but Sally says, I thought I'd be dead by now. Like, how genuine is that? What percentage? I'd say maybe like 50%. I think Sally maybe downplays their ability a little bit in some ways, to gain some relatability and friendship. But also, maybe thinks that Ariko would have attacked by now. T90, did you propose on a work trip so that you could put the ring as a business expense? No, dude. I didn't even think of that. Crap. Where were you a couple years ago? Dude, I think that's that's a sketchy one. I don't know if that's legit. I don't know if that's legit. But yeah, I did not think about that at all. No, I mean, I was never going to be able to match something that cool. And if I would have missed that trip, if I would have forgotten the ring, I had no backup plans. Like, how am I going to beat a castle in Germany? Chatting's ramping up again. Blue says, Orange, I heard a rumor that you wanted to join our alliance. Speak your truth. Now, this is also to Green. Sally says, may I inquire who you heard this rumor from? Regardless, I'd love to join in an alliance. Blue says, I can never reveal my sources. And Sally says, respectable, my good sir, respectable. I'm going to be honest, I need allies. As I am fearing the envious, look at my score. Okay, so Sally's worried about the worst. We'll see what Blue does with that. And Sally says, though Ariko overtook me, maybe that might take some heat off me. And then Blue says, I have the same problem. Blue... Blue doesn't really have the same problem. Blue doesn't have the high score problem, but I'm pretty sure that's the joke. Army count starting to climb. Now we've got the new rocket carts here for the Koreans. Of course, a couple other civs get rocket carts, but still, Koreans are one of them. With the Arbalest. There's been zero chatter between Ariko and Sally. It is going to go down, baby. It is going to go down. Yo, Tim, you're welcome for the gifted sub. By the way, chat, I'm still matching gifted subs. I'm not going to do it during the cast. So I think there's been 2. Batoja tossed one in. We also had Pajamas. Thank you, guys. Also, Pajamas, Wegason, Stealth R Us, Raging Kane. Welcome back with the resubs. Tunnel Vision, thank you. You Strepto, thank you again. D King, welcome back. Sorry I missed you guys. classic spot in that community, in the community games where everyone's got the eco and no one wants to be the bully. No one wants to be the first person to fight. B. Fowler says, less chatter, more splatter. That's a fun one. I like that. But no, this hasn't been too much chatter. Clearly, everyone's getting ready for the splatter soon. Teal, what is your plan with that army? Teal just says defense. JJ says, how are you doing? Any long-term allies, or could we work together? So JJ is talking over Sally, not incorporating Sally into the conversation. Could that be Sally's YouTube reputation? I don't think it's anything Sally did, you know, directly in this game. Ooh. Blue keeps talking. I love this because Blue is, like, feeding rumors to the 2 top players in the game. This is, I heard Teal may be plotting against us. Meanwhile, it's Teal's first commie game, so that's not true. Teal didn't say anything of the sort. And, you know, Teal might be in trouble if those rumors are believed. Blue is... All the rumors Blue comes up with are normally false rumors. The toe incident rumor, that actually, you know, that did happen. I did have an incident there, but... Rico says, you're right, let me Diplo that out. Diplo that out with who? Oh, I think Sally's here. Sally's actually talking. And apparently Teal is making everybody nervous right now. Oh, I think it's literally just the fact that Teal has made an army. Teal's, like, not hiding the army, and so that's making them nervous. I think I didn't see Teal reach out to everybody directly, which could be the issue, because everybody else chatted a lot to other people. So that could maybe be part of it. And yeah, maybe Blue feels like Blue's going to have to cling to Green. You have to be realistic with your chances, and maybe you need to cling to the higher ranked players and wait for your time to strike. And Blue, happy to just whisper in the top player's ears and says, should we make a move on Trade or Teal? Bro, this is their first game. I feel so bad when this stuff happens. Again, it actually makes sense. That's the unfortunate thing. It makes sense because Teal has not spoken to Blue. Teal has not spoken to Green. At least not recently. And everyone needs a target here. Like, and they don't want it to be themselves. So you're happy to just push that onto someone else. Sally doesn't know that Blue's been talking to both of them the whole time. Says, I could maybe get Green to join us as he is fearful and has their reasons with building on their island. And Blue says, Green's with us. And we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. I think the key things to remember, the strategic castles from Green are crazy good because a lot of people are trading through this way, and so if they ever turn on Green, that trade dies. Same deal with here, that trade dies. Same deal with here, this trade dies. So these castles are positioned somewhat perfectly for that. We'll see how this goes. I think trying to build castles super far on the other side could be a problem. Oh man, dude, JJ's got a force here, guys. JJ's got a force. Purple's not really chatting much, but Purple's might be ready to go here. JJ says, tell me when, and I'll help. So says that to Sally. So I think that would be an opportunity for Sally to say, hey, let's go after Green right now. But Green is a crazy player and is probably the most fortified player in the game. LSR says, could be our time to strike. Gray says, seems like the ideal time. And... oh, Yellow says, Red is talking about helping Green. Chat settings are messed up. I'm on the inside, guys. Remember, Yellow's talking to the east right now. Talk to the right side. Attack Red last. The info could be useful. I think Red is not expecting Yellow to be spilling that information. And Sally's like, yo, Purple, I'll let you know. It says me and green on teal. So yeah, the right side seems to be thinking about attacking teal. Teal hasn't said a damn thing. Teal's like probably sweating right now. And now teal, this is actually an important message. Teal goes to green at least and says, what's the plan? This might make green feel like, okay, this player's on the team. This is what I've been waiting for. Here's the stockpiles. So res banked, high for blue, high for orange. High for everybody, really, but I think the others are spending it a bit more. A T90, how do you choose who to root for here? I don't know. I go by a mix of everything. What they've been through in life, well, you know, the life of Age of Empires, their personality in game, all that stuff plays into it. I'm not really rooting for anyone right now. No one's done anything hugely disagreeable for me to root against anyone either. Atomic Sausage roots for people based on how hot their sister is. Okay, good to know. Well, everyone's got their own system. Atomic Sausage. Green says, my info are red want to kill me and perp and gray not in the team. So is that war? Sally says, yes, I think so, but do we want to 3v5 this? Teal says, I don't know if I'm ready. I'm scared. Saying I'm scared, saying that to everybody, I actually think would like bring a lot of sympathy. Weirdly enough. But yeah, I guess, and I haven't been able to really pay fully attention to some of these messages. There's been so many lines of chat go in different directions. But it seems like word got over to green that at least there could be a squad of purple, gray, and red over here. And purple is attacked by green. These trebs were sitting here, and the first blood is the highest ranked player attacking purple, who is the lowest ranked player. But purple did have those trebs in a suspicious location. But we have our first blood. And green says, I'm killing perp treb. Is green's plan to just ally again now? Green says, no reason to let this under my castle. Okay, but now you've started a war. You could go to purple now and explain that. But that's an act of attack there. And it is correct. Like that, why would you just let Treb sit next to your castles like that? Dicey times, tensions are high. And blue, of course, has to chime in and says, fear not of my outposts. They are peaceful and decorative. And JJ says, why do that? I was waiting for a signal on teal. Let's see what Ariko says. The answer is because Ariko's super paranoid. I've been there myself. I have the streamer paranoia of knowing everyone wants to snipe me because they want to rewatch it and then have chat laugh at me. That's why I don't really, do too many of those games myself these days. But, yeah, I mean, to me, it makes sense that green is going to be paranoid. But JJ's like, I was waiting to help. Now, is that believable? I don't know. Ariko says, stop with the rumors all. And now blue says, gray, I heard purple and red will go against you. Which is definitely a fake rumor. There's lots of rumors here. This is the rumor game. I can't actually keep straight what's a rumor and what's not. Oh my god, now blue says, red, I heard gray is planning to send his king your way. Okay, so blue's just full of it. Blue is rumoring everyone, trying to get people to attack each other. That one seems a little fishy. But LSR says, frowny face. That's a frowny face with 2 chins or 3 chins. I can't tell. Gray says, I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Red is asking for more details, says why. And now blue says, yellow, I have heard purp is sending his king soon. Be careful. I love how blue is going to everyone but the top ranked players because he thinks that they'll fall for the rumors. So, if you say this to enough people, maybe people will believe it. Or maybe people will find out that this is all rumors and kill you. I can't keep it straight, dude. Now they're like, hey, guys, they're talking about this move, that move. There's so much happening. I mean, the one thing I know is it seems like Sally and Ariko are on the same team for now. Also, Teal is here. This feels like Teal is about to try and kill Ariko. That is not where the king is. Teal probably sees the flag and thinks the king is there. It's their first community game. They want to be a legend. Now, Teal might also be here to work with these other players. LSR says, Gray, Blue is antagonizing us, accusing you of treason. And now Gray says, he said that you two might come after me, which I hope would not be true. Uh-oh, the people who received the rumors are talking, and they might turn on Blue because of this. Antara says, it sounds like he is rumor mongering. Yeah, I think if you're going to lie, you can't lie that someone's going to send your king and boom you because there hasn't been action yet. So people have resources to make armies. You would need to lie about other things. Ariko says, we go for purple. Now says this to Teal. And Sally says, what is even happening? I don't know. My brain is spinning right now. There's so much chat. What's weird is usually the teams are pretty clear, but I think it's because Sally and Ariko have not properly communicated. They're like, they're talking to other people. They're not talking to each other, and yet they're on the same team. It's this weird dynamic where no one really has the full picture. And now Blue's saying I'll go for Teal, but I think Sally and Green are friends with Teal now. But Sally says just says yes. By the way, Green is still against Purple. That never changed. But Purple's lowest ranked player probably a little scared to start that fight. And Blue says 14. Ray says Purple ready. Red says ready. Okay, so who are they fighting, though? They're going to fight Blue? They could indirectly be defending Teal if they attack Blue. And Green says, I don't know what Blue is doing, and says this to Sally. And Sally's confused why Ariko's confused. But here we go. Massive engagements. Teal could be turned on by two very strong players and the rumor guy. And a horrible position for Teal to be in to be 3v1 like this. There's no support from a team. Green does actually ally Purple as well, which I think is important to note. But yeah, Teal's going to get rolled. Now, if you're next to someone and you're just going to completely wipe them, they could just send their king to your base. So this is not risky for Green. This is not risky for Orange. This is risky for Blue. And Teal just says traitors. But yeah, Teal will not survive unless there's support. I mean, there's no way. Nothing Teal can do on their own to win against this many elephants and trebs and bombard cannons. Even if their rank was way stronger, right? Sorry, guys. Capture rate seems to be lagging. I don't know if it's a recent patch or whatever, but obviously we've got a lot of units on screen, so when some people die off, it hopefully won't be too bad. Blue says, Teal said too many bad things against T90. We cannot let that stand. I don't think Teal said a single bad thing about me. But Blue just loves the rumors. And honestly, finally we're seeing fights. Blue says, rally against Teal in this betrayal. And Yellow says, Teal Green, I'm moving on Blue. Well, I mean, if you could do it faster, that'd be good, because then Teal could probably survive. Teal's probably like, what gives? I thought I had a team of some kind. And, yeah, at least Teal did the right thing to run away. For now, the king is in that tower, and Teal needs to try and chat their way out of this. All the military units you produce are useless now if you're Teal. You need to be typing to people, asking for mercy. But probably a very helpless feeling now. Okay, Orange telling Green to help. And Green is attacking Blue? Wait, what? And now the king from Teal is going into Blue's base? Green says, dude, Teal and Yellow have my trade. I can't let Blue betray that. Oh, wow. So Green is losing trade because of this attack. And now there's problems. And the king just went down for Teal right here. So Teal said, you've started the rumors. But the my rumor is you're about to die. And will Blue be typing up a new rumor And notice this. We'll see. It'd be actually very fitting for blue to be typing a rumor instead of noticing the king right now. They think they killed Teal in the base. The explosion happens, and the king is dead. What? Wait. Huh? Blue's alive. Rumor has it he survived. How, though? Oh, my God. I saw the Arambai in the castle. I thought that was a king. Oh, my goodness. Rumor has it blue is actually fine. The king was inside of the TC. The explosion happens. That is obviously pretty bad for blue. Blue loses a lot, but blue still survives at least. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Yellow's now under threat. I think the king is in the tower behind that castle. And Cav Archers are here from gray. Yellow, we weren't really sure exactly how many teammates there were. And I think yellow's going to be the next one to go down. And yellow, as they die, says, if I die, so does trade. And we'll see about that. But that is 2 people down very quickly here. And gray tells everyone to run. So, exploding kings, a new explosion will happen. Purple will probably lose a lot of paladins if purple doesn't run. And hopefully the lag will subside for us as well. But I'm a little confused. There's the explosion. So, the team... The one thing I can tell you is this team of red and gray and purple, which seemed to be there before, that's still alive. We still have that main problem of eventually these players are going to fight each other. And we might be seeing it now. Malay Cav Archers are not great compared to other Cav Archers, but they could be good for a sneaky snipe. This feels like Sally is going to try and kill green right now. Sally turns. The king is not in this castle, though. The king is in this castle over here where there's no siege. Green is going to panic and realize this. And so finally, these 2 players fight each other. It was inevitable that it was going to happen, but the king is not in that castle, Sally. Yes. And Sally doesn't get the snipe. Now, this is a really good time for, the other players. Because the top 2 dogs are fighting now. And hold up a second. Rumor has it, blue is now making a move on green as well. And so this could be tough for green to stabilize here. Sally now goes to the other squad on the left side. Says we kill green now, it seems. The others might be on board with that. And can Rico hold in, I mean, what's right now a 1v2? But it could be a 1v3. I don't know how it happens, but I feel like every time Sally plays, there's always someone slightly better than him in elo. And he always uses that to his advantage. He's never top scorer. He's always like 2nd or 3rd. I think if green feels like the writing is on the wall, green might try and get the king over to Sally's base. But can the king outrun this much military? Is this green giving it up, or is this green trying to stay alive right now? King's still alive. T90 apparently are 5 minutes behind. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we always have a spec delay. So if someone chat, like if someone dies and they come to chat, they're gonna, you know, there's gonna be a delay. But I have spec delays intentionally, so there's no stream cheating and such. So not a big deal at all. Intentional. Will green survive this? There's demos coming for the elephants. That's a great move. The castle's still up. The king is in there. And this army is not really that important. Red is over here now. Building a base just in case gray attacks, I suppose. Teal says, quick question, why did they kill me in chat? From my perspective, it felt like there needed to be a target. And you were an easier target than others. And also because you weren't quite as active in chat with them as maybe some others. Like, there was a squad on the left that chatted pretty early. And then there, you know, some of the other players had talked a little bit more than you did. It's kind of tough. Blue is probably a big reason for that. Like, Blue was creating some rumors and whatnot. Blue, by the way, losing an entire base. So, Teal, you've got every right to maybe be annoyed with Blue, but Blue's probably going to go down. Is Green going to go down, though? Green is also losing everything. Everyone's here. Arika will die, and I think Blue will die as well. There goes Green's king. question is, like, who are you going to be annoyed with here? Also, on the whole topic of speculate, chat, do not chat in my chat if you are not dead yet in-game. Please, please. That is one of my biggest pet peeves. Understand, there's a delay and all that, but that's just not fun for me or for anybody. Green's going to die. Green's going to die. The Paladins are here from JJ. Bottom score against top score. And it wasn't the biggest spoiler, Rico, because your king was already making a run for it. So apology accepted. Green is going to die and try and take out red. I think green is running to red's main base, though. And red doesn't have the king here anymore because red just relocated it. Or wait, no, is green trying to survive here? Oh, because red's still allied. Oh. Also, blue's still being attacked. Blue's okay. Green is here. And gray is going to snipe it. Gray, that's your ally. Oh, dude, I don't think gray tried that. I think that was just a unit that randomly was left there. LSR is in a panic. LSR says, ah! And red is going to have to evacuate now. Gray said, move your stuff as quickly as possible. And all the villagers evacuate. Oh, dude, that is a horrible spot. That is going to ruin the entire economy. Man, that could not have been worse for red. Well, actually, the only way that could have been worse for red is if red had the king there. But red at least is still alive. Red's still in this. Could maybe reboom or something. Red still has teammates in purple and in gray. Green is now out. So wait for Sally. Sally should be making moves now. Because Sally's going to be turned on by the others potentially. That's how this should go. And blue is kind of struggling. I think Sally knows how this will go. So Sally says, we against the world, blue. How does that sound? And that seems like a pretty good plan for both of them. Blue needs to support. Who better to support you than Sally? And Sally needs an ally. And you have to pick someone who needs you. Antaro says, sounds good to me. Let's cease the rumors. Eriko says, pick the wrong team, it seems. Yeah, I mean, like... I don't know. It's kind of a confusing game. Kind of a confusing game. But nice thinking ahead there from red to move the king. That's actually such a clutch move. And that king's pretty well protected. Blue says, I need 1,000 wood for my alliance. And Sally says, you want me to pay you? I think blue is just out of wood. Yeah, blue is 15 wood. So I don't think blue's trying to be demanding. I think blue's just trying to get some wood here. But you didn't have to, like, demand it. I don't think Sally's going to take offense. And Sally says that's a small issue. I suppose it is. Gray says to us, chat, I forgot I'm at work. Thankfully, no emails have come in. Oh my god. So Gray just tabbed out after his buddy Red almost died to a bomb to double check work emails. Okay, so it's good to know. Gray hasn't been fired yet. That's good to know. Gray says, let's do it, perp. And then blue says, perp's very close. This is true. Yeah, they're going to move on blue. They're going to move on blue. They're not happy with the rumors. They know that some of what has transpired is because of the rumor mill. And I don't think blue can survive this. I also don't think Sally should necessarily save blue. Sally needs to make a move on purple and gray right now while they're attacking here. Huntaro, who's on the clock, by the way, says, the rumors shall cease. The rumors shall cease. And then blue says in response, the rumors will never stop. You love to see it. Will the rumors continue here? I'm not so sure, though, because I don't know how blue is supposed to survive this. Okay, king's on the move. That's at least a good move, to run away as quickly as possible. And, I don't know, get into a transport ship. Kind of funny, but blue has 240 wood now, so could make a transport ship. Blue needs to avoid any castles. Green is enemy, so you can't go near that castle. Purple just has trade in Sally's base. That's it. And Sally, I think, is trying to get a feel for what to do here. There goes the king. And that king is... Bro, this is a dangerous spot to be in. Now, that's a trade cog. There's a camel archer here. This could kill him. Oh, wait. Green was allied to blue. Oh, never mind. So it's okay. But blue isn't allied to green? Okay. Treason's being spammed right now. They're really looking for this king. They don't know where it went. I think purple and gray spotted it. And there's a transport for Sally. Dude, blue, do not get in that transport. Sally wants a bomb. He wants a free bomb. Do not give him that power. He says, hop in. That's so smart from Sally. That is so smart. Because once blue is in there, blue can't choose to get out. It's Sally's decision. Blue does not get in the transport. That's actually very bad for Sally. And the king is there, and gray should kill it. And blue says, that transport seems too dirty for my king. And now Sally turns because Sally knows that king's coming to me. And, oh, this is bad for Sally. That's a good attempt from Sally to try and save the king with the transport. But that explosion's going to hurt him. It could potentially kill his king. Because his king is in that TC. That's really close. Like, that's borderline. I think it will survive, but the elephants next to it die. Bro, do I have this memorized or what?
Yes.
I freaking called that. That is insane. I've seen so many kings explode. I understand the radius now. As Sally maybe felt that things were going to be fine. And, Sally still has a base at least. Sally still has some trade at least. Gray says, we need to go hard on orange now before he rebuilds. Absolutely. And Sally says, you know what? If you're all going to go against me, there's one way to win this thing. And there is our wonder. We always have wonder and relic victory enabled. So, this is a possibility. If it becomes a 4v1, a 5v1, you can at least camp it out. Try and win it on your own. Purple, trying to be friends with Sally. Purple just said that the others want to go to you. So it feels like JJ was very much on Team Sally, but Sally didn't expect that. And now Purple realizes, maybe I've just got to turn on them with my friends. I don't think this wonder victory is going to work, but you're not going to kill 3 other players on your own with no trade. And by the way, you will eventually have no trade because of the castles. So you have the trade for now. That will not last very long. And Sally says, all right, bitches, go get some. Which is very un-Sally-like. Sally's normally very kind and very chill, but Sally's like, all right, if this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do. And Huntara says, I'm reporting you for that. T90 demod them. No, actually, that is worthy of a promotion. So Sally has just been promoted. Okay. Let's see. We've got 1,700 elo for Sally. We've got 900 for purple. We've got 1,000 for gray. We've got 1,100 for red. Red, of course, lost their entire base earlier. So that is kind of an issue. But red still got an army. And Gray says, Orange, I just wanted to be known that I did vouch for you at the start. I don't remember if that happened at this point. So I will take Gray's word for it. And Sally says, thank you. I love how Sally actually changes the chat settings to say it directly to him as well. Sally says, you might be in luck because I just killed myself. You'll see, I hold no grudge. Ooh, what's that mean? That might be Sally saying, building this wonder killed myself. Because everyone's going to attack me. And Taro says, get the Fs prepared in chat to pay respects. That's very ominous. It is very ominous. It feels as though, like, the you'll see makes me think that Sally is not going to go out in his own base. But very poor coordination so far from Gray, from Red, and from Purple. They have not been fighting at the same time, which is an issue for me. But Purple will come from the left side, which should work well. And let's face it, the elephants are super cheap. And Sally's got crazy resources, guys. I mean, maybe it's doable. 25k food is a lot, and then 20k gold. The others don't have that. Antaro's in a pretty good spot, but Malay elephants are tough to stop. especially with some of these civs. I don't know what I'd suggest you make. Monks don't feel realistic to use. Scorpions would actually be great. Lots of scorpions mixed in with some of the other armies they're making would be great. But it's just full max out from Sally too. 156 military. Halb Scorpion would probably be the best thing to suggest. And Poles could make Olbuk, could make some Hussars in the mix. Olbuk should be okay. The Paladins should be solid as well, especially with Lithuanians with the 14+6. And again, they're not all fighting at the same time, but that's a rank and skill issue, right? And Red taking this fight. And Gray massing up to take another. Purple mainly fighting Orange's main group on their own. And will probably lose the battle. That wonder's on the way up, guys. What % chance would you give Sally to win this right now? JJ gets kind of annoyed, it seems. JJ says, go, or am I fighting Orange alone? Well, no, they're fighting. The Hussars are here. Gray's on the move. They're fighting. They just need to walk a long way here. Someone said 68% chance. Well, they can't do it on water. They have to go through a bunch of castles and stables on land. I'm surprised that so many chatters went around like 2%. I'm actually going to go... I'm going to go a full 9.7%. There's the wonder. 350-year countdown. Sally's held so far, at least. If Gray snipes purple right now, that would increase Sally's chances significantly. It looks suspicious. It looks a little stitious. Suspicious. I'm not superstitious. Just a little stitious, as Michael Scott would say. But no, I think Gray is here to help. But Gray can't get through the gate. The gate's actually a horrible, horrible thing. Oh, God. Oh, and now the Trebs are blocking this gate? Oh, God, what a disaster. What a disaster. The gates can't be used. Delete the walls or something. Like, this is... Okay, some of the Halbs made it through. The Trebs are doing their thing. They're winning the fight. And Red maybe will be sending more and more in from the middle area. Who does Sally like the least here of the remaining players? I would guess maybe Red? Sally talked to Purple for a while. I mean, Purple never really straight up backstabbed Sally. Gray has talked a lot to Sally. The main argument for Red is that Red hasn't talked a lot to Sally. But I'm just thinking of that if Sally needs to detonate this king on somebody. Wherever the king is, it's in the tower. But 318 years to go. If that countdown hits 0, Sally wins the game alone. And Sally's won a lot of games. Yo, Rocket, what's up? 8 months, tier 3. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Shukunu Tsunami as well. Thanks for the 37. This has been a very messy game. Purple says, move your Halbs, please. Purple seems a little annoyed with Gray. But I don't think Gray's doing anything intentionally. I just think it's a messy situation. Yeah, who does actually have active trade right now? It looks like Gray and Red do to each other this direction. That's a big deal. So they should be fine with gold. I'm not sure about Purple. Does Purple have any gold workers? Purple has 0 gold workers. That could become a problem. So Purple might run out of steam for Paladins at some point. In fact, might have already reached that stage because we just have Hussars. But Halbs are fine. Purple doesn't have the barracks, but Purple could maybe do that. Heavy progress here with the Trebs from Gray and the Hussars and the Pikes, and they're slowly taking down these buildings here. I think Sally, even with 180 military, can't seem to hold for long enough. I love how Gray's made so many Trebs. Yeah, I don't think you need to go for the wonder now. You could overextend. But just taking out the castles and the stables is great. And sure, you're going to lose them, but you have trade. You have this many, you're going to destroy a lot of buildings before everything goes down. Not an easy situation for Sally to defend in. That castle goes down. Like I said, now TCs and stables, like all these things are so important to Sally's production. As long as Gray has trade, this is fine. Because Gray can make more trebs later on. Here comes Purple with some trebs. Honestly, well played, guys. Like Gray, Purple, and Red, well played. Also, these were the three that were essentially the only core team that I could realize. We knew, like, there were alliances that wouldn't last, like Sally and Eriko. But these three in the early stages were the three talking about being a squad. And it's worked out here. I love Red bringing in the Navy. And relics are now gone for Sally. And yeah, this is where I wonder if Sally will make a move with the king. Do we have a transport yet? If there's a transport in queue, that is acceptance from Sally that this could be going wrong. Sorry for all the dinging, but there's no transports. Sally's still hoping, still praying. Suma, welcome back for the 5 months as well. Very motivating, guys, to see people around that sub range, you know? Because we've got some long timers who've been around. Obviously, it doesn't really matter, but like when I see the new subs bloom into 5, 6, 7, 8 monthers, it's sick. So thank you, guys. I've been back on Twitch for a bit now, but still, you know, after being 2 years on Facebook, there's always the worry that wouldn't happen. So, yeah, I think Sally's dead. 250 years is too long. Unless Purple runs out of steam. But Purple's at least spamming Hussars nonstop. That's something. Dude, Gray's going crazy with the trebs. Let's go. 10 trebs again? Gray's been fun in chat as well. Gray says, Orange, you are without a doubt one tough nut. A tough nut to crack, as the saying goes. Halb has been the key unit as well. Red says, but boy, do we love cracking nuts. I really want to put that as a YouTube title, but I think there's no context. And the fact that there's no context means it probably won't do very well. Sally says, let it be known that I stood valiantly in the face of overwhelming odds. This is true. I think everyone will admit to that, even if they wanted you to die here, Sally. This was the right play. Like, maybe the only play for Sally beyond this would have been teaming with Purple. I just didn't expect Purple to actually be friends with Sally. But Sally turned on Purple when Purple was saying to Sally, hey, they're coming for you, which makes me think that Purple actually wanted to be friends there. Dimriser, I'm wishing you the best of luck in the community game riggings today. But I'm also wishing that to everybody else, so I don't know if that means anything, but welcome. Thank you. I think Sally just assumed it would be 3 versus him, which is the logical assumption. Sally probably never saw Purple's messages. The fact that Purple isn't trading at all, though, with these others, or in general, tells me that Purple will be the next to go down. Like, Gray and Red seem to be in better positions. Now, I know Red lost, like, pretty much their entire base. So, Gray is probably the favorite, honestly. While at work, FYI. Red goes to Gray, says so Gray. They seem to be making plans for once Sally is dead. Sally is not dead yet, by the way. Sally's holding on the left. Sally is pushing the trebs back here. Don't do this too early, guys. Don't get too confident. Sally might still have a chance to do this. Red says, you fight valiantly. I would like nothing more than you and me in the end. Okay, so that's a fine agreement. So this is like a once Orange goes down type of situation. How many resources does Sally have? Oh, shoot. 1,300 food and 10 gold. That's bad. I mean, the stables are all mostly queued with elephants, so there might be another 100 elephants, though. But the elephants will stop soon. Navy's really strong. I think Sally's kind of made a mistake here. The Navy should all be over here. Still wondering if there's ever going to be a transport in queue. So yeah, gray and red seem to really like each other. JJ has been less chatty than the others and less involved in the team in total. Sally is halfway there, officially. Halfway there, living on a prayer? I don't know. 185 military, which equals the other two. Gray and purple. Obviously, we're forgetting red there, but red's got some stuff. If Sally had more resources, I'd say this is winnable. Each stable I'm clicking has like 6 or 7 elephants in queue, and there's 11 of them. And the barracks have some queue in as well. So they haven't finished the job yet. I think Sally will run dry on res, though. Right at the worst possible time. Right when we start to get hope for Sally. Oh, this could be such a sick find, though, if Sally could get those trebs, but Gray sees it. Yeah, I don't know. Like, getting the relics back is one thing, but then you need food. Like, all this stuff costs so much food. It's crazy. He went from 30k food to 0, pretty much. It tells you how tough it is to fight 1v3. And the army's ready to go again. Purple about to make a big push. Red about to make a big push. 148 years. Oh, that's actually the perfect engagement as well. You have the halbs on the elephants. And then you have the hussars on the two-handed swordsmen and karambits. And then you've got pikes and hussars over here as well. And then Gray's trebs are coming as well. Just keep an eye on the military pop bottom left. It's been 170 for a while. It's now down to 150. Yo, Sarge, thank you. That's another gifted sub I have to match. I will do that after the game. Vapor Trail, welcome back. Thanks for 82, dude. Good to see you as well. Hope it's a good one. Purple has a lot of trebs. Purple seems interested in just going for the wonder, which is an option. You might want to take down the towers and the castles first. And let's not forget the king is there. Gray has trebs from the other side. Well coordinated. Well coordinated. All 3 of them hitting Sally at the same time, and Sally's military count is plummeting. There's only 2 castles up. Now there's 1 castle up, about to be 0 castles. And Sally is going to fall. This is where a transport would make sense. Or the king just runs. I think they've done it, guys. They've just about done it. They've stopped Sally from getting another community game victory. It was a very good game from him. We knew between Sally and Eriko, it was probably going to come down to one of those two making a play for first. But I will say that I'm respectfully happy that neither of the top-ranked players are going to get a cracked victory here. Or they had a cracked victory, but they're not going to get it. The Wonder will fall. Purple is here. Red is here. Gray is here. A team effort. And down goes the Wonder. And Eriko still watching. Sally says, "My allies were all faithless. No wonder thou wert victorious." Okay, but who does Sally boom? Who does Sally boom? Sally still has a king. Sally is not dead. Oh, I love the wonder no taunt there from Red. Man, you guys have some style here. Let's go. AI chat and also the taunts. Who does Sally like the least? I asked this 30 minutes ago. Also, Fun Sponge with the 20 gifted. Let's go. I love the dodges in the chat. I will match that as well. Who goes down? Is it Huntaro, who is next highest score? Sally says to us, as the king is in a jeopardizing position, says, "I will not go down without one final boom." Oh, is it purple? Is it JJ that gets taken out? It is. JJ's going to have a really tough time. I feel bad for JJ. I felt like JJ would have maybe been an ally at that one stage of the game before the Wonder. But the easiest snipe for Sally, and JJ realizes full evacuation mode, panic mode for JJ. And JJ will survive this. JJ will survive this. Okay, so JJ loses a lot, saves most of the vills. Oh, and Gray is moving. Red says, Gray, don't, my friend. And Huntaro, as something is very much happening, says nothing is happening. Nothing to see here. Nothing is happening. Okay, Red realized, man, I thought there was an agreement here between Gray and Red. But I guess with Purple compromised, there's no better time. Can Red make it to Gray to try and get a snipe? Not really. They've got so much army down here, right? They have so much stuff down here. Red's on the move. And Red is in Green's castle. Not a bad spot to be. Red brings the Navy over to snipe the Trebs. Purple has to build more houses. And now JJ goes to Gray and says, can we go for Red? Which, I mean, that's going to be amazing for Gray to hear. And Red says in all chat, faithless scoundrel. Oh, boy. But if Elisar goes over to Purple now and says, yo, JJ, he betrayed me. We had a deal. He's a faithless scoundrel. You know, maybe throws in a couple more adjectives. Maybe JJ kind of has his pick. But it makes JJ... It makes more sense for JJ to be teamed with Gray because they're neighbors right now. And Huntaro says, I am sorry, Red. I thought your king was in that castle and you would be easy. Oh, I'm sorry. I just thought you'd be an easy snipe. What type of apology is that? Sorry, I just thought you were a noob. Is that basically what that translates to? Gray says, I accept my consequences. Well, I mean, what are the consequences? The friendship is ruined. I think the wedding is called off. Yeah, the wedding is called off. That's a consequence. I thought they were going to sail off into the sunset together. Spot on, actually. He's not sorry that he did it. He's sorry he got caught. Yep. Well, this would be a sneaky position for JJ. Because remember, they're ELO, right? They're not at Sally's level where they could focus on all this different crap. And this has been a long game. There's a lot of pressure. Wouldn't be that unheard of for JJ to go hit Gray right now while Gray's overextended and kill him. LSR still leaning on the caps lock. Says, tales of your misdeeds will be told from here to Cathay. Chat, where's Cathay? What the... Is that a reference? Help me out. Help me out. The CK2 reference? Okay. I mean, it's an old name for China. Okay. Good to know. I knew that. Learning something. Army counts are insane right now. Purple's kind of lucky to be alive. You ever hear those people who like have a near-death experience and then just, they were pretty timid before, but once they were that close to death and survived, they live life with vigor and risk and craziness, right? That's Purple right now. Purple might take a big risk and go after Gray. I don't know if that will be the play or not, but we'll see. Now, if this was Regicide Rumble and there were payouts for positions, this would be very interesting as well, and Purple might want to sit it out. Purple might want to wait for one of these two to die. But Purple's not picking any sides right now. I think Purple's still trying to reboom, add more eco, and recover here. Got the relics back. And, yeah. Green still in the in-game chat. Says, our kings have died, but our trade route was the best, and it's still alive to this day. Yeah, look at the golds for green and yellow. If yellow wouldn't have been killed, yellow would have over 100,000 gold right now. Gray says, choose your side, Purple. The victory may lie in your hands. And now Red says, Purple, Gray betrayed me. Wow, they go to him at the same time to try and convince JJ to pick a side here. I think it's a slight mistake there from Gray to say that to everybody, though. It might have given Red the idea. And Red says, how about we rid this earth of dishonorable men? Well, that's weird because you already killed Blue, and so I'm kidding, Blue. I love LSR's chat. LSR's chat is great. We need to check stockpiles for him. Food is great. So they both have all of them have over 20k food. Way better for Gray, though. And 8k golds for Gray and for Red. And then JJ's got 2k. But JJ also has a lot of relics. Actually, JJ has 7 relics. Is it possible JJ has every one? No. Okay, there's relics over there. Never mind. False alarm. False alarm. JJ says to Red, where is Gray's king? JJ then says to Gray, where is Red's king? So JJ is asking both, asking about the king positions. And is going to get the info from both and then make a decision on who is easiest to snipe, I suppose. Yeah, relic victory is on, but you would need to have every relic. Oh, Varion, thanks for the 10 gifted, dude. Cat, hold me accountable. I think we're at 33 that I owe. But we might not get there for a bit. Also, I need to hydrate. Units are dying. I need to hydrate. But what a game. What a game. I mean, these guys pretty far from the highest elo in the lobby. And this was the OG team of 3 who talked together earlier. Ooh, JJ just turned on Gray. JJ's going to make a move on Gray. Probably determine it's easier to snipe Gray than it is to snipe Red. Because Red's so far away. And Huntaro's response to that is, I can't believe it. I wasn't sure if he was responding to a work email with that statement. Or if he was responding to the Diplo move. But I don't think he's been paying attention to his work email too much, in all honesty. Same. Not the best snipe ever from Purple. I think if you're going to go, you've got to go, dude. Like, you've got to have everything ready to go when you turn there. Purple wasn't fully prepared for that. But now Purple is against Gray. That's set. Not only was the gate open there, but also the wall is open because of the explosion. Ooh, Gray was probably looking here, though, guys. I don't think Gray was looking at the land army. Gray was looking at the navy here, which is sniping all these stables. And there's basically no wood left on the map, so... And no stone left on the map, so losing stables, losing castles, all that stuff is going to hurt. Purple with a bit of a misclick there. Probably tried to click onto the castle and clicked behind it. A lot happening. Gray is focusing mainly on JJ right now, which gives Red an opportunity. And the king for Gray is inside the TC. Look at Red run through the castles. Yeah, you know, I just don't think that's going to be enough. If you have another wave, maybe. Sally here now apologizing to Green. Purple's king is in this castle. By the way, I'm stupid. For whatever reason, I thought that it was JJ who had the cannon galleons. These are Huntaros. So this is hurting Purple. JJ's facing severe consequences here for his actions to turn on Gray. Oh, God. But there is another wave of Hussars. The TC was repaired. But Red's just going to keep sending it against his former friend. Is this the end for Huntaro? Every villager in the town repairing. There's castles and Hussars from Gray in defense. I think this TC will stay up. Honestly, it's better for Red to just kill villagers at this point than anything. JJ struggling, but JJ's still somewhat in this. I think lost the buildings. Losing the production buildings was painful. But does take out Gray's buildings over there. And yeah, Gray survives. Can Gray do this alone now? That's a lot of military, 125. And there's Trebs here. And there's cannon galleons. Like, JJ could die easily. The king is in that castle. The cannon galleons could make progress. The Trebs are making progress. And Red's going to try again. Oh, man. Again, just like make some trebs at this point. I guess Hussar raids are still going to do some damage. It's keeping Gray busy, so this gives JJ time to defend. What a stressful game. If at first you don't succeed, try again. That's the saying, right? I don't know if that's a good saying for this situation, but that's what we've got. King is in that castle. Castle's going down to the cannon galleons, but the cannon galleons just get sniped by the Halb and the Paladin there. The king stays in the castle for now. I need to check stockpiles again. Red only has 11k food now. And Gray has 65k food. Gray could spam Hussars all day as long as these castles are up. That's a lot of castles. Look at this ring of castles. This may be winnable. It's a lot of Magyar Hussars. Polish Hussars are pretty strong too. Unfortunately, though, when you build stables in a circle, it is possible for units to be trapped. So poor Red does not realize that, I don't know, 15 units are stuck in the middle of the stables there. Happens to the best of us, dude. Happens to the best of us. Yo, JJ, those are trebs in your base, my friend. Where's the cat? Where's the king? Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I got sniped with the trebs, and I've got to give Gray credit for that. I think Gray noticed that. That's crazy. So JJ's dead. Red immediately drops a wonder foundation, and oh, thank God we have someone building a wonder with max amount of ills. This has been such a theme recently where people build wonders with 2 villagers. And Gray says, Red, my friend, I kept my promise. It is you and me. Well, I guess technically that's true. Bye-bye, JJ. You fought a good game. Honestly, Gray just had a beastly performance here. And Red says, then why is my heart bleeding? All right, well, we're going to watch these two figure out their differences. Maybe they'll make up. Maybe they'll hate each other. Who knows? But look how fast the wonder goes up when you build with max amount of villagers, guys. Red says, what is a sunset without friends? JJ says, well, I'm just bad in late game XD. The elo difference shows. Elo's... Honestly, JJ, you got, like, the short end of the stick in a lot of ways. You were right next to Sally. Give yourself some credit. Obviously, it was a very stressful situation. But Gray had a better setup. Like, just overall, Gray had more res, and Gray had the castles, and was ready to go. So, I gotta say, as far as wonders are concerned, this isn't the most defended wonder I've ever seen. Like, this... Gray's gonna lose a lot of trebs now. That wonder is very much out in the open. We'll see if more fortifications come up. Gray losing those trebs is not a good thing. Gray's not attacking right now. And I don't know why. Are they on stand ground or is Gray allied? I don't know. It looks like they were on stand ground or no attack stance, but Red just took a crazy good fight. So right after we complimented Gray, Gray has a misstep, and there's the wonder. There's that Polish wonder in all of its glory. 350 years. That's a long time to wait in a 1v1. A long time. It feels like one of these guys is going to run out of steam before we get to that point. I don't think it'll be Gray. Easy to look at that and say, oh, Gray just threw. No, Gray can make a million more Hussars. Not a problem. Gray, attack with them. Okay. Well, clicks the whole group onto the Treb. And now the rest of them will fight back. The Polish Hussars have a bit of trample damage, which has an effect. But there's more HP on the Magyar Hussars. There's more attack. I think Magyar Hussars are just better. Which, thank God, because the unit doesn't get enough love as is. And then Magyars get Halb, which is amazing against horses, sorry. And then Poles do not. So if Gray still has more resources, which is the case, I think Gray wins this game. And it's an amazing game as well when you think back to it. Gray chatted to us earlier, said last time they played, they were fearful. Did not play very fearful this game. Sick. I think it will take some time. But units are dying at such a rate that 3,000 food remaining for Red is going to disappear very quickly. And maybe these units are fully queued. Looks like Red realized the trap there earlier. Now, Olbuk will be a bit better, but again, you only have like one castle to produce from, maybe 2 or 3, but I'm not seeing a heavy queue. Oh, are those... Oh my god, I thought these were demos. I thought those were demos, guys. I got really excited for a second, but those are just trade cogs. I think Red has been trading here for a while. Probably hasn't thought about it. But obviously, when you don't have resources, that's pretty important. You can hear those Olbuks in there shredding the armor. And it is just unit after unit being tossed to the afterlife. But I honestly, I just think it's got to be over purely from a resource standpoint. So if Red recognizes that, Red needs to make a run for the king, but Red tried so many times before. Again, look at this. 8 on food, 72 food right now for Elisar. Has some gold, but you can't compete with 50k food and that many castles to produce Magyar Hussars. And Halbs. And you'll kill the trade. I think the last fight for Red before Red realizes that this is it. Red might ask, how many resources do you have? Red might just tip the cap, because I'm sure there's a lot of respect between the two of them. A lot of pikes and Olbuks there I think will perform a little bit better. Hammer time. This unit's definitely better than the Hussars are right now. If Red had a bunch of walls and fortifications, I would think that maybe Red could win with the Wonder, but the Wonder's just kind of out of place. It's not it's not here. You know, honestly, like, re-wall that and build it there, but then it's closer to gray, I guess. And Red loses the fight. Military count down to 43. This would be where I would chat. If not that, I'd be looking for that king somewhere. I don't know, maybe transport around or something. Will Elisar want to give it up? By the way, Elisar has 101 more elo than Gray. That's pretty crazy. Look at all... Huntaro, 1,003 elo. 1,800 is dead. 1,700 is dead. 1,200 is dead. 1079 is dead. 1057 is dead. The only player that had less elo than Huntaro was JJ. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. I mean, the only thing you need to kill is that king. You don't need to win the other fights. Gray is feeling good right now. It would be a shame for Red to tap out without trying. There need to be some army support, though, right? Well, actually, Huntaro killed a king with a trebuchet. So, the king has been moved into this castle, which Red doesn't even know exists. Red probably thinks it's still in the TC, because that's where it was before. It is an awfully convenient spot to roll into now. Gray is making a move for Red's king. There are the trebs. Dude, that's the castle, but Yellow doesn't know that. Or Red doesn't know that, sorry. Red clearly doesn't know the castle's there. Oh, no. Is wanting to go for that TC, because that's where the king was before. Okay, Red realizes. Oh, no. Misclicks. Stupid trebs. One treb in a dream. He'd have to get so lucky right now. Red also could die to Gray. Gray's attacking the Wonder. But the king is there too. Dude, and he'll see the flag on the TC, and he'll think that that's where the king is. It was ambitious anyways. Gray is mad at Sally in the afterlife for all the harbors. Huntaro, though, has probably done it. The dream for Elisar is dead. And Gray's bringing the trebs on the way. There's no way that Red's got less than 26 military. There's no way. And Elisar taps out. Now, if you resign before this Wonder gets destroyed, I will actually scream. Please don't do that. Because I hate it when you resign in this situation, the Wonder will, like, start going down, and then it freezes. Because the game ends. Gray says, GG, indeed, I'm sorry I hurt you. Please let the Wonder fall. Please let the Wonder fall. Oh, yes, that was perfect. Thank you. LSR says, both terrible in friendship, but I guess that makes them perfect for each other, right? And Gray says, you were a wonderful friend. And Red offers the king, and the king dies. And the game ends. And that was a good one. That was a really interesting one. I was expecting the storyline was Sally was going to form a squad on one side. Erika was going to form a squad on the other. And they were going to fight 4v4. One team would win. And then it'd be like, okay, Erika's side won. Erika 1v2s or 1v3s. The people on the OG team. I think what made this game very good, guys, was the setup of the players. If Sally and Green were on opposite sides, what I just said would have absolutely happened. That's the only thing that would have made sense. It would have been like, hey, let's rally the troops against that side. Let's rally the troops against the other side. But here they're next to each other. And so there was a lot of distrust. They kind of had to work together. They didn't really know what to expect. And then the opportunity was simply too good for them to make a move on each other, which is ultimately what happened. Again, there was one team that was formed clearly at the start. That was purple. That was gray. That was red. Remember, they were not talking to yellow at all. I don't know how Ram feels about that. I mean, they did a little bit, but it didn't seem like Ram was in the squad. They didn't talk to Teal quite as much. Of course, Teal was a bit further away. They did kind of talk to Sally here or there, but then can you really trust him? And they conquered a lot this game. They conquered the rumors. Guys, Gray got 4 kills this game. 4 kills. Killed the rumor guy. Killed JJ with a trebuchet. Killed LSR in the end, his friend. And killed Sally. That was a game. That was a really fun game. So well played, everybody. Actually, hold on. Sally's king was not... That was friendly fire. But it looks similar to Gray. That is white. Because Sally deleted the king. So... but still, 3 king kills. Played a hand in defeating Sally as well as the others. So well played, everyone. And that's a Kami game right there. Sally with more kills. Obviously, he fought 1v3. Fought so many units. Lost a lot of units in the process as well. The trade profit was way higher for yellow, but that is not a real stat because yellow was dead for a while. But beyond that, I suppose... the trade was fairly decent for some of these players here. Technology is usually something I skip over a little bit, but I do always like a peek at the APM. And so there's always these moments. I just wonder what was happening there. JJ, any guesses? What happened in that moment of the game where you just beasted? Scroll wheel, maybe? Clicked a bunch of paladins? I don't know. But it seems like everyone was pretty even speed there. When you compare them. So, GG. Well played, everyone. The rumor is this will probably hit YouTube at some point, but I have no clue what the title will be because we had the rumor part of the video, and then we had a couple other key phrases I could work with. So, GG. All right. When I said I was fixing my desk earlier, chat, that meant I was standing. So if you're like, well, what changed? I wanted to stand up during that. Okay, do we have memes for this? Meme review? Were there any memers? I like to do this after Kami games if people are making memes. Let me look in the meme channel real quick. We've got 4 of them here. And maybe we'll have more for future games now that people know we're going to show them on stream. So get your rankings ready. This is solid. I like this. Accurate. Accurate. I think Blue's mistake was that the rumors were not believable. So like Blue said when everyone was fully boomed and had lots of army, they're sending their king to you. No one's gonna send kings at this point, in my opinion. Like if you said they're going to snipe you or they don't trust you, that'd be a slightly better rumor. But anyways, whoops. Okay, so here's the other one. I gotta enhance. I'm not sure if it hurts or helps the meme that this is not very high quality. Also, I don't know if I've ever seen this meme format before. This is new for me. Okay, we got some 2s in chat. So I don't know who made this, but chat's not impressed. Okay, next meme. This is not necessarily related to the game, but I think this is hilarious. So Sarge in chat says, "Hey, Sally died, yay," and is jamming out with a jam emote. And then Sally responds and says, "I'll remember that." So if ever Sarge and Sally get in the game together again, there's some interesting backstory now. I like that. That's very good. Okay, and then this one doesn't have text, but this was like, it's along the same lines of what Blue was doing in that game. Whispering in people's ears. So, well played. We'll keep the meme review up after Kami games. Honestly, I'm down to do meme review after like normal cast as well if there's ever an interesting set, but chat will have to alert me like for during tournaments and stuff if there's good ones in there. So, thank you, memers.